Now, there was a team last year. What happened to them? They were the best team in about 200 years of footy, I reckon. So footy's only been around for 150. But they were the best team we've ever seen. And then they got their absolute heads kicked in the grand final in embarrassing fashion to the point where they fired their coach, moved on completely. Their best players bought a house in Freo. He's on his way out. Alex, your Sydney Swans for the over-under team wins 2025. How are you feeling?
So 2024, 17-6, as Jim said, finished on top of the ladder, but it doesn't mean jack if you don't win the flag. The over-under, one of the many teams on 14.5 that Stats Guy was losing his mind about. We'll just roll straight into the because it does roll into the over-under. Does the Chad Warner contract chat all season that's already started, given he bought a house somewhere in Perth, derail the Swans season?
Nah, there's a lot of other things that can derail the season. The fact that they lost a grand final by 1 million points, the fact they've got a new coach, the fact that there's a lot of younger. I don't know. I think
a lot of younger. Where?
I don't know why. I just hate Sydney because of you.
Their team's the same except for their new draft picks and Luke Parker.
I think they won't be derailed by that. I think they might just take a lot of time to adjust under a new coach. So I'm going to say nah.
I'm going to say yeah.
Oh,
I think the Chad Warner thing feeds into a larger problem they'll have this year with Coxie. Oh, it's like a straight swap from John Longmire to Coxie. It never is.
No, that's what I was saying.
It never is. And I think that change in philosophy, that change of approach, that change of the person in charge.
Could also be a freshen up that they needed given 15 years with Longmire.
That's true.
At the same time, we might not know. We might have just discovered that John Longmire might be like the world's greatest coach, keeping this all together. And Dean Cox comes in. It's like, yeah, I can beat everyone's head in if you look at me cross-eyed. And you're like, this is not the approach I want. I'm afraid. I'm moving to Freo, says Chad Warner. Isaac Haney's like, I should have won the Brownlow last year, but what the hell, man? And then he just goes all sideways. And I think it could go a bit wonky. I don't think it will, but it could.
Okay.
Anyway, check out right now True Blood's chat with Dean Cox. Yes. That literally came out this morning. So go check that out on the YouTube as well, as they're part of our family now. So best player, Isaac Heaney, already mentioned him. Yep. I think their most improved player will be Braden Campbell. He looks like he's going to get a full-on crack after being the sub many times last year, playing wing, high, half forward. My big call, they'll start this season zip and 3.
Checks out.
So their first 4 games are Hawthorn at home in opening round, then Brisbane at home, and then they have to go to Perth to take on Fremantle before the free kick win against North Melbourne.
Oh, there's 0-4. Oh, my God.
No.
Swans 0-4.
So I think they'll start that, but I do have them hitting the over on their over-under this year. I think they're a quality enough team, as we saw last year, to rebound from a shaky start. As we saw, they had the shaky middle part of the year and still finished on top of the ladder. I think the rising star is Caden Cleary. That was before his indiscretion last week. He misses the first 2 games of the season. And the cult hero is my boy, Angus Beef Sheldrick.
Well, friend of the show, McCurdy, said he might play. Is he?
McCurdy, yeah. If you heard,
we want to see Sheldrick play.
If you heard the chat, when you watch the chat from Dean Cox, you'll get the vibe that he's very upbeat on Angus Sheldrick and Corey Warner playing this year.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because coaches never lie about young players. They're two-time opponents. Who have they got?
They got the Lions, Freo, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, GWS, and Essendon. We usually play GWS, Port, and Essendon twice every year, regardless.
I've got them 15-8. I'm going over as well, stats guy.
I'm going over just. Yeah, I've got the same 15-8. I just think they've got the quality. Like, even if they're going to have a new coach, I think it might be a bit of a slow start, as Alex mentioned, to do with the fixture, to do with the new coach. But they've got so many stars. They'll be fine.
Yep. Errol Goulden, Brownlow, finish top 5, top 3,
top
2, top 1.
Nah, top 10. I think there's too many guys to take votes.
He beat Heaney last year.
Yeah, I just think there's too many guys to take votes.
Only man who could knock off Cripps. Just saying.
Yeah. Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
You can't have. It's just so hard to get good help around here.
Yeah. I've got them over finishing in the top 4.
Right.
Top 4, okay.
I think 15-8 has them.
For
as
me,
I've said, I've got about 8 teams on 15. So
yeah.
they're in the top 8.